Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. To start things off, a new report by crypto fund manager Grayscale, who's in the news 13 times a day, argues that the current Bitcoin market structure parallels that of early 2016 before it began its historic bull run. Grayscale predicts that demand for Bitcoin will grow significantly as inflation accelerates, highlighting the need for a scarce monetary commodity, bolstering the use case of cryptocurrency. The report identifies several on-chain indicators showing growing interest in crypto, noting an increase in long-term holding over short-term speculation amid historic lows for the number of Bitcoin held on exchanges, and also the narrative that we've had and the price moves that we've had over the past 3 months. A lot of people are simply accumulating because people expect and anticipate that the prices may move higher, and therefore people are going to be buying as opposed to selling because nobody wants to be that guy. Grayscale also notes that daily active addresses are at their highest level since 2017's all-time highs. The report asserts that loosening monetary policy from the US's abandonment of the gold standard onwards has created cycles of debt-fueled asset bubbles followed by aggressive quantitative easing. Grayscale notes that increasing dependency on the US economy on quantitative easing, which is the printing of money, to stay afloat, and that history shows is an addiction difficult to quit. The S&P 500 dropped 20% over 3 months in response to the Federal Reserve floating plans to reverse its monetary expansion in 2018. Despite the US dollar remaining structurally strong relative to other currencies, the report asserts that investors who are wary of inflation amid the unprecedented monetary and fiscal stimulus are searching for ways to protect against the ever-expanding money supply, bolstering the case for Bitcoin as a store of value. Here's the actual PDF report. Right here, it's called Valuing Bitcoin. I'm going to ask you all a question. Should I put this in the comment section, in the description box below the video? I ask because sometimes when we go over these things, I remember to actually put them into the little box there. But does anyone actually read them? Like, am I wasting my time? Are you content with just hearing that they did this, or are you actually interested in reading the actual charts? Like this one says US debt to GDP versus M2 velocity. Does that interest anyone? Or should I just not put these things inside of the description box? Anyway, yes, logically, Bitcoin is looking strong. I've argued for a while now that it looks like we're in 2017 simply because of the ICO DeFi mimic thing that we have going on. But who did we hear from yesterday that also said that that we were like 2016-esque? I think it had to do with the amount of run-up that was still going to happen for Bitcoin, which me and my friend also went over yesterday. And I won't even tell you the numbers that we went over because they don't even sound proportionally realistic to anything that might potentially happen. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. But everyone is of the mindset that there is going to be an historic bull run. However, I think the timing of it is varying amongst many people. A lot of people are saying that something crazy will happen by the end of this year, but nearly all accounts put us in summer or winter of 2021 for the really crazy last boom run up. Anyway, that's that news. There's not much price news. You realize I usually have it at the very beginning of the video. It says Bitcoin price sees bulls to 11,880. What's next? Bitcoin is currently roughly around there. The entire evening, we kept on hitting 11,910 and then falling back down to 11,800 and moving back up over and over and over. So I think hopefully this could be a very good weekend for all of us. It even says it right here. The Bitcoin price is expected to rise towards 12,400. don't hold your breath. It'll happen when it happens. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up, data from a pseudonymous analyst compared the performance of Bitcoin against global currencies since the start of this year. The data shows that Bitcoin has increased by anywhere between 50 to 128% against the world's major currencies. There's a little chart right there. 66% compared to the US dollar, 57% compared to the euro, 57% compared to the euro, 68% compared to the pound, Canadian dollar 69%, Japanese yen 62, and there was a South African. Anyway, the point is, I think Brazil has the, if I'm not mistaken, the highest is 128% against the. So Bitcoin is faring pretty gosh darn well. The analyst said, update on the Bitcoin price in various currencies and on various time frames. Let's start with year to date. The price is up 57% in the EU, 100% plus in Argentina, Brazil, South Africa, Russia, Turkey, etc. Prices are based on the official US dollar exchange rate. It may differ if you're looking at it right now compared to when this person made that chart. Bitcoin has performed significantly better against devaluing currencies, often with higher rates of inflation. For instance, the Argentinian peso recorded 53% inflation in 2019, its highest in over 30 years. One thing that fascinates me, and I mean, no, we're probably not going to hear this in the news anytime soon. The fact that a normal person, I assume this person is a relatively normal person, was able to compile data like this. Can you imagine if this was ever on, I don't care where you get your news from, if this was ever discussed amongst them or for you or for the millions of people who they're trying to reach, that Bitcoin had outperformed all of these currencies? What do you think would happen in Brazil if people were told that Bitcoin gained 128% compared to the money that they have in the bank? What do you think a lot of people in the States would do if they pretty much figured out that Bitcoin could have almost doubled their money in value if they had, I mean, also even the money, what was the news that we had like two weeks ago? It was someone had did like a chart and they said if you had put your $1,200 stimulus check into Bitcoin, I think you'd have, was like 2,100 or something like that by now. So it's just I like that we have this news, and I like that this circulates within the cryptocurrency community. Like I always say, you may not realize it, but we are very lucky to be into crypto at this time, or even if you want to say this early, because in 8 years, things will have changed quite a bit price-wise on our end. But when you even look at since the beginning of this year, the increase in value of Bitcoin compared to other major world currencies, what is it going to be in 5 years down the line? Because we know that Bitcoin's deflationary. We know that more of it's being locked up. We know that more of it is being stored away, more of it's being hoarded, and also being locked up in all these DeFi protocols and stuff like that. So, and even the Lightning Network also locks up Bitcoin as well. So what happens 4 years down the line when the next halving happens and Bitcoin's inflation rate was already lower than the US dollar before all of this happened. So imagine in 4 years and then imagine in 8 years, because one can only assume if fiat currencies are probably going to remain on their same course and they're probably going to continue printing, and we're probably going to get more charts like this. And I would love to even see charts comparing like since Bitcoin's creation, how much Bitcoin has risen in value compared to the US dollar. Like imagine having these charts. Imagine on any news network that you might watch on your television, actively reporting at the beginning or middle or end of the year, Bitcoin has increased by 38,000% in value compared to our nation's currency. Next up, a dog was running down the street. Like it would boggle people's minds, and people would go, why am I into my currency? Why have I not swapped out of dollars? And anyway, I thought this was incredibly fascinating. The fact that not only Bitcoin is a world currency, but it's outperformed every other major world currency on this planet. What more do people need? And I'll just move on. Next up, Binance is in the news. Binance's staking platform for DeFi will allow users to participate in different events by voting through a proof-of-stake model. Through staking, users get to earn passive rewards for locking up their crypto. That's what staking does. Crypto exchange Binance announced that its decentralized finance staking platform is now live for trading. On Wednesday, the Binance staking platform announced support for DAI, that is DAI, the stablecoin generated through loans on the DeFi platform MakerDAO. Then on Thursday, Binance announced support for the second asset Kava, that is Kava, to its staking support. Kava is basically a staking platform backed by Huobi, Binance, and OKEX. Why not? It also has a native crypto token with the same name, logically. With this development, Kava users no longer need to interface with the Kava app. Instead, the users can go directly through Binance's DeFi staking platform. It was logical that Binance was going to get into the DeFi craze. I do repeat for the 18th time. Make sure that if you are putting your money into any DeFi platform, I don't care even if it's with someone as established as Binance or Coinbase or Kraken, make sure that it's real. Make sure that it's not pumpy and dumpy. Always look for other people's feedback on these protocols. It takes 15 minutes for you to be able to figure out where your money is going. Go on forums, go on other places, listen to the good and the bad things that people have to say about these platforms, where they're putting their money. Are you able to take it out? What's the difference in interest rate? How much money can you make? Are you penalized for taking your money out? You know, there's a whole bunch of different things, and also fees. I do repeat, I think DeFi is going to be major. I think around 95% of the projects that we have right now, you will not even hear of them within the next 2 to 3 years. However, I think this is going to be proof of stake and staking your coins, I believe wholeheartedly, is going to be the future of passive income. Besides real estate, besides all the other things, I think the idea or the model of being able to accumulate cryptocurrencies, have them rise in value, and you get 6%, 11%, depending on which coin you're in, back in returns is going to be nuts. Because if you get into a situation where, hypothetically, you buy some type of a cryptocurrency that can be staked or will be staked in the future, its value rises to cumulatively what you have to $1 million in 6-7 years, and you get $60,000 per year in passive income from that coin, well, you really don't ever have to work again. So that's going to be a very big selling point for all of these staking things. I think we're also very early. I mean, to be fair, we are very early in the staking game, but I think it's going to get nuts as time goes on. Next up, I was confused when I first read through this one, but then I was like, oh, okay, I got it. Brian Brooks, the acting comptroller of currency at the U.S. Office of Comptroller of Currency, says America must adopt digital currency payment rails if the country hopes to compete with global payment rails in the future. He insists changing consumer needs to be prioritized over the interests of powerful banks that may be against the rise of cryptocurrencies. I couldn't figure out for a second why the U.S. Comptroller of Currency was telling people to adopt cryptocurrency. Like, it just didn't. I was like, what am I missing? And then you scroll down a tiny smidge. Speaking in an interview, the former chief legal officer at Coinbase Global said that it is a fact that 50 million Americans own digital currency, and we cannot ignore that. So he used to work for Coinbase, and now that's nuts. How many, you realize that there's so many people who, I mean, come on, stop it. It looks like, to me, in my eyes, that clearly the cryptocurrency space is only going to continue flourishing as we move forward into the future. How many people from the cryptocurrency space have moved into like really powerful roles? This guy was the chief legal officer at Coinbase, and now he's the U.S. comptroller of currency for the entire country. It's the same exact thing with that other woman, Kelly Loeffler. Didn't she become a senator? And she was working at the New York Stock Exchange, and she created Bakkt. Brooks says part of the reason why payments activity has moved outside the banking system is because consumers now want to receive their services in a different way. Consumers of financial products want fast and error-free services, and this means the U.S. needs to get to a place where payments can be transmitted virtually instantaneously and where errors can be eliminated. Under Brooks's leadership, the OCC has already issued here we go. Yeah, we go. He's part of the people who gave the green light for all the banks in the U.S. to start offering crypto services. That's why I was like, I was reading and I was like, why would someone who's for the U.S. dollar? And I was like, oh, okay, I got it. So he went from Coinbase, however he got the job of the comptroller of currency for the United States is nuts. And then he also helped give the green light for all the banks. I mean, come on. It's just like, the point is, yes, someone who used to work at Coinbase, who now is the comptroller of currency, is telling banks in the U.S. to embrace innovation. There was also other news. I don't have it here. It seemed not redundant, but we know it's redundant. There was news that apparently there appeared to be a further budding relationship between a couple of gigantic countries who are directly next to each other, who are trying to find more ways to get rid of the US dollar as the reserve de facto currency, and that apparently they're on their way to doing so. So this is not the first time that we've seen someone kind of rally like a war cry and scream like, hey, you should do this. We've even had a number of companies in America who've also been like, hey, maybe we should start doing crypto, guys. And I thought it was really funny when, I think it was the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, and then I think it was Ripple. They were all like, regulations? Anybody got any regulations? Because I feel like they all know, maybe not the higher ups, but everyone else in money seems to know that the innovation has moved to other countries and other continents, and yeah, that's probably where the money's going to stay, especially when you have like lower tax rates. Like if you already have opened the doors 3 years ago to cryptocurrency companies and you're giving these people either free taxes or free taxes for the next 5 years or like a 9% tax rate, where would you rather go? Because you don't want to pay state and federal taxes in the US and then you're like, oh, we should have just gone to that other island nation where it was prettier. Anyway, that's that news. So let's see if they start innovating. I don't think they're gonna. So here's your weird news of the day. Actor and venture capitalist Ashton Kutcher's first attempt at digital art. It's a piece titled "The Eye of the Beholder." Is auctioning at a website called Cryptograph. At the time of writing, the highest bid stood at 13 Ether, around $5,400 US, with a day to go before the sale ends. So I watched the video. It was interesting. Ashton Kutcher probably not. Ashton Kutcher made an art piece. He drew, I think, 7 eyeballs on a piece of paper. The eyeballs were about half the size of your fingernail, and then burned it, and then digitized it and then burned it. So apparently there's a website where famous people make art and then you can buy it. And it appears that it has to be digital art, as they're all holding up digital-like things. Here it is. Oh, that was weird. For those of you not looking at the screen, it's a normal-sized piece of paper. Oh no, sorry, it's more than 7 eyeballs, but they're about the size of flies. So it looks like the digital art scene is becoming gigantimous. I did not see it going in this direction, but I feel like if you got the right celebrity to really promote this on their social media platform that they are creating, it's a really interesting way of advertising yourself as well. So like, imagine if one of the most famous people in the world announced that they were going to be making an art piece like once a week, and only one person in the world would ever be able to own it. It'd be a pretty good way to make money, but I don't think that, anyway. So yeah, it wasn't fairly popular news, but it was kind of in a couple of places. We keep getting news about digital art. I assume that's the way the world is going to go. I really don't know what more to say, but apparently celebrities are creating art and selling it for Ether. All right, let's move on. Next up, the Gemini twins are in the news. The Gemini exchange in New York, founded by the Gemini twins, has announced that it is turning to Eventus Validus, come on, to monitor all the trades that occur on its crypto platform to ensure the safety and security of its customers. It's so nice of them. Eventus is a trade surveillance and market risk solution manager for cryptocurrencies and other assets. Right now, Eventus is utilized by 6 other crypto exchanges, and it's also quite popular among futures platforms, foreign exchanges, and fixed income markets. Right now, the company claims that roughly 60 firms rely on the software and ensure AML and anti-crime measures are in place. Eventus works to keep all companies in work with compliance and regulation. Sure, why not? I don't know who Eventus is, but apparently it was newsworthy enough in more than a couple places. No one should be surprised that the Gemini twins are making sure that their platform is legally compliant. They are fiscally not dependent. That's not the word. They want to make more money, so they're going to make sure that they draw within the lines, is the nicest way of saying it. I think nearly every major cryptocurrency exchange has stuff like this already, and I assume as time goes on, there are only going to be more barriers of entry and also exiting these exchanges to get your money out, because by the time Bitcoin does hit $50,000, that's going to be we're going to get tons of news from regulators being like, oh gosh, that's a lot of money, we got to protect people, when in essence they're just trying to make sure that you're not selling it off for something and that they get paid their taxes. And the same exact thing when we hit 100,000, that I think is going to be kind of like the not the plateau's not the word, but that's when everything that's cryptocurrency related will have some type of a regulatory stamp on top of it, because that's a lot of money. Upland, which is an EOS blockchain-driven real estate game, apparently lets players buy digital versions of real-world properties. It was initially launched in San Francisco with plans to expand eventually. Today, Upland Me's mobile and web game began the expansion process by adding a chunk of Manhattan real estate, specifically in the LES, the Lower East Side. The developer categorized the addition as a bubble of the New York City borough, with further parts of Manhattan to be added before the game expands outward to other boroughs. So I looked at this and I couldn't tell. It appears that it's just like a video game. It's a video game on EOS where you buy up real estate. And I don't know if you're competitively buying it against other people, like if you're buying it and then other people simply can't buy that property. I feel like this could have been or could be major. I think that this has nothing to do with buying actual real estate or any representation of real estate. This is what I'm getting from it, because I clicked on it as well, but it was a lot of graphics and I don't want to have it on the screen. The secondary part is, you know how like Decentraland lets you buy land and so and so and so? Imagine a digital map of the world, or even if we're just focusing on the US right now, in this game where you could buy up digital land in really popular places. Like imagine being able to buy up or be one of the very first people to buy up an entire building in the Lower East Side on a game on EOS. Like it just, this is why I said it was kind of weird, because San Francisco, I was in people visiting, digital version of something like Pokemon Go, but instead of monsters, the goal is to purchase and amass collection of properties. I really wonder how far this could go. Because even with Decentraland, the idea is like you buy up land, obviously, and then you can like advertise on that land, or you can have other things within the game or within that world where people can like visit and they can do stuff, or they can go into your digital museum and they can pay 100 Satoshis to look at the art that you have within that museum, which could also be digital art from the thing that we were just talking about from a celebrity. Yay, wonderful. But imagine, once again, stay with me, if you could do that in Manhattan, in a digital world. It's anyone get what I'm saying? Kind of. I feel like people would be more prone to buying digital land in cities that they know. Okay, I think I'm just gonna move on because I could go on a lot with this. Like I want to see what becomes of this because I think it would be a shoo-in for a very popular platform. I think a lot of people, if the people from Decentraland sold out a huge amount of their land like a year or two ago, just imagine being able to buy up swaths of Manhattan before tens of thousands of other people find out about the platform. It seems, my only thing is, like, when you buy it, can you resell it? Like, does it have actual value? Like, I'm going to look more into this. All right. I think we're going to move on. And to finish things off, in what? Like, why? This was hyper popular news. A Canada-based Middle Eastern restaurant chain just converted their entire fiat cash reserves into Bitcoin. According to a 19th of August tweet from Tahini's, the best Middle Eastern restaurant in the world, end quote, the decision to switch its cash reserves to crypto had its genesis in March's crash, and when the Canadian government began to provide assistance programs for businesses unable to stay open due to 19. With the US and Canada printing money to prop up the economies, Tahini's owner, Omar Hammam, started to see the financial system as a game of musical chairs being played right before him. Hammam said he was concerned that handouts and money printing would devalue fiat currency. That's how they're devalued. He said it was apparent to us that cash didn't have the same appeal, that eventually with all the excess cash circulating the economy, that cash would be worth less. So yeah, apparently they converted all of their cash holdings into Bitcoin. And this is also true right here. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's very true. As time went on, I was constantly trying to learn and grow my knowledge about finance. I heard people in the Bitcoin community say that you have to hear about Bitcoin at least 7 times before you get into it. 100% accurate. Yes. The amount of times I heard people saying Bitcoin and me being like, okay, sure. Digital money. Yeah. Have fun with that. And I didn't get into Bitcoin. It was at least 7 times over the course of a couple of years. And this has happened to all of us. There was not a moment where we heard about Bitcoin and we weren't skeptical in the very beginning. And I know a lot of you are shaking your heads right now, up and down, like, yeah, that's right. Because we all had that aha moment at one point. We're like, oh, yeah, fiat is garbage. So anyway, super popular news. I wish them the best. I hope it continues well for them in their endeavor. I had no idea that a burger place? Why are there burgers on the screen? That a place that serves food, converting their, I guess it is kind of significant. I mean, it's actually quite mega significant. It's kind of like, what was that family? There was a family, I think from the Netherlands, who converted like all their cash holdings into Bitcoin. It was like 6 years ago. I assume they're mega ultra rich now. Anyway, yeah, if you want to, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Good for them. That's wonderful. I have no idea how to end that. Like, what am I supposed to? As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Snacky Chan, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain Invest in My Decentralized, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila Dahan, Yasha Harari, Oscar Maldonado, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Stoyer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Moher Maroney, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cold E3D, Damien Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Garner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test Every Day, and Cowskips Leg Day, Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Arf Medic 17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger Ramat, Jonisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. And just thank you all in general for everything. Thank you very much for being here. At the moment, Bitcoin is at 11,813 US dollars. See all these spikes and these jumps and these, we kept on hitting the same number over and over. And this was the 11,900 something, and we kept on falling back down. Every coin as well has reacted more harsh to Bitcoin's little drops that have happened over the course of the evening, the day, the last 24 hours, really. None of the top 10 coins are doing exceedingly well. EOS is up by 3%. Monero is up by 10. Neo is up by 14%. The craziest gainer of the day is Omise Go. It is currently the number 26 coin, up from 33 yesterday. It is up by 71.59%, and it had a little dip right here, and that appears to be the Bitcoin dip drop. I assume it would have continued going up a lot. Wasn't Omise Go like $2 like 5 days ago? It's a little insane. 0x is up by 55%. See the dip right here? They're all undergoing the same falling Bitcoin dip. Yearn Finance is up. First of all, this is the coin we were talking about yesterday. Yearn is at $15,000 per coin, and the circulating supply is 29,000 coins. Why would they do something like this? I'm shrugging my shoulders. Do any of you remember in 2000, I'm pretty sure it was 2018, there was another coin that came out, and I think they only, what was the circulating supply was like 300 or something ridiculous. I think the coin's value jumped up to 38,000. I can't remember what it was called for the life of me. And I told everyone, I was like, please don't touch this coin. Something's clearly wrong with it. Of course, it disappeared, but the hype around it was that, oh my gosh, it has a higher value than Bitcoin. Therefore, we must get into this coin. Whew. Quantum is up by 20%, Icon is up by 31%, and a lot of the other coins are in the red, but it's not a deep red. We're not like in a crazy red day. I hope, or it's looking like during the day we may start moving up a little bit more, but this is going to be something pretty shaky that we're gonna have to break out of this and just hope that we eventually get to, my eyes went crossed as I said the word hope. I have no idea why that happened. That we eventually just get to $14,000 so that we can kind of, I don't want to say end this madness, because a lot of people, I've seen the comment section, a lot of people have been quite, not elated, but they've been a little happy that prices have slipped down a tiny bit so that they can accumulate more. I mean, accumulate while you can. We are, who knows? I don't know what I have no idea what the future is going to hold for these prices, but if you feel like it's a good time to accumulate, assess the situation and have a conversation with your bank account. I do hope that you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Hope you all have a great Friday. Hope work ends quickly. If you are not at work, I hope you have a great day regardless. I hope you go do something fun. Go for a walk. Go for a something. Just don't stay inside the house all day. Get some air. Summer will be ending relatively soon, so make sure you are getting the most out of it. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.